Hi, good day to everyone. I'm Nouman Malik, sole and founder architect of Purple Craft Design Studio. Initiated basically in Calcutta. We've been working and living there since the last almost 12 years, and now we've expanded across the other side of the country. So from east, we've shifted to the west. So right now, we're established and based out of Surat and Gujarat. We still keep shuffling between these two cities. We work across pan India with our projects, interior projects, architectural projects, landscaping projects. And yeah, first of all, uh, thank you, Abir, for creating this platform in which we can share our experiences, share our works, uh, and it's more like an awareness kind of a thing where although India has a good art market, but still a lot of the masses needs to connect and get associated with what art is, how it can, how it's basically essential to our lives. It's not just like any other commodity. For me, art in a space, first of all, it's not something which needs to be bounded. It's something which still needs to be free flowing in whichever format, in whichever form it is. So to me, art is something which is connected with the space in such a way that it has to speak for itself. It's something which sometimes needs to stand out again on its own self. It's something which really amalgates with the whole space. So it's something where you take a few things, you connect it with the space, and the most important thing which art has to have is a juxtaposition with the space, how well it can juxtapose itself, how well it can connect with the people in the habitat living in that space. So for me, art is something, it's all about connectivity, how well it can connect with the environment, the people, and the habitat as a whole. So yes, we try to start with art that this is something which can come up here, or keeping that as a focal point or as a visual point, or as something which as a vista, and taking that into consideration from the very beginning. That, this is something which, or probably we don't freeze on a particular piece, but it's something like a theme, it's something like a material, a texture which we would prefer that would uh, you know enhance the space, and keeping that in mind, the whole you know design and everything then develops around that. So that's the whole process how we go forward with it. A certain level of awareness, a certain level of exposure has to go in. So I need to do a crash course with them initially. Okay, this is something which let me take you through it. Let's go visit a few galleries. Let's go meet a few artists personally. So I have to take them through that whole session, and after that, then they'll probably feel that okay, there needs to be art somewhere or the other, and then comes how necessary it is, how we should respect it, and there's a certain place where you need to keep it. It's not always the neglected spaces where art needs to be kept. So that whole level of awareness goes through this in this small little crash course which I have to give to uh, most of my clients. Not all of them, but most of them, yes. The initial level of my, the initial days of my uh, working methods from starting from Calcutta and Shantiniketan especially. So if you look at Calcutta being the cultural capital of India, no doubts on that front. Uh, Looking at the stalwarts who've been working there for centuries for that matter, the recent ones being Satyajit Ray, looking at the way he, not only being a filmmaker, but even if you look at his illustrations, the way he used to imagine, characters, costumes, the music he used to make for his films. So these are the kind of inspirations which I personally have. Even other art forms from East India, again, based in Bengal and Orissa, like the Pottochitra, the Kalighat paintings. You go through all of these, you understand all of these, you just gaze at all of them, and there's so much to learn, there's so much uh, cultural, you get that it's a place where there's a lot of cultural instinct there. Art is essential, absolutely, even when it comes to society uh, in a whole, or as a thought process as a whole, yes. art for me is something which is very close linked when it comes to something like nature. So how nature is, there are so many elements, there are millions of elements in nature, from leaves, flowers, animals, beings, so many elements, but none of them seem out of place. So that's how art should be. It should never look out of place in a particular space. And I think so that is when someone has perfected it to that level that, okay, it's something very rich, very beautiful, and it's something very warm when it is existing over there. So I think so sourcing in a word is not that easy. It comes with a whole package. And till the end, where one wakes up every day and has a look at that piece, and sips a cup of coffee, connects with that piece, watches it maybe 3, 4 times again in a day, and then goes back. So it's an everyday process, and it's something which you should connect with every day. I think so. That is of more prime importance rather than just getting it once, putting it there, and on top of it, I know. That's this for me. Art is something which is really warm and something which really connects well.